So I'm building a fuck ton of oil. I don't even remember what we did because it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Let's see.
I
Okay.
know I'm making a research center and a bunch of oil. I think I had like basically recently annexed Libya. I'd set up a bunch of rails in it and started setting up oil everywhere. Oh, this is a good time. So I remembered some things about how the game works while looking through the manual the other day that I want to tell you because they're important.
Okay.
One important thing that I clearly forgot about and still don't really give a lot of care about is your domestic approval rating. So you know how when you have territory that is not loyal to you, there's a penalty?
Yeah.
I, for some reason, converted in my head to thinking that the penalty was like a set amount, 30%, for example. It is not. It actually scales based on your domestic approval rating. And if you can actually get that rating all the way up to like 60%, you no longer have any penalty.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
that is very hard to do. The highest domestic approval rating in the entire world right now is 41%. It's especially harder to do in World War One because all the texts that make people happy come later.
Yeah. But basically, yeah, what you're saying is the more your domestic approval rating goes up, the lower the penalty.
Yeah, pretty much. Another thing that I forgot about. I'm gonna go with two more things I forgot about that the manual reminded me of. Number one, your production on a hex is not just based on loyalty, it's also based on supply. The more supply you have on any hex with any kind of production, the more of its max value it produces. So, for example, if you have oil wells in the middle of a desert with like nothing there, or a power plant on a little tiny village with barely any supply, that's actually going to hurt the amount of product coming out of that factory.
So to generate supply down towards it, connect it via rail or, something, right?
Connect via rails to spread supply, yeah, but at supply sources like villages and industrial complexes, you need a stronger supply nearby to fix it, to like make it better. Because the way supply works in this game is if you have two villages right next to each other, and there's two villages or two hexes in between the village, the supply is not based on, oh, the supply from both villages is spreading into it and adding together. It takes whichever supply source has the strongest spread to that hex, and then the other one just doesn't count.
Okay, so for example, right here, I have a town that supplies 30%, and but then just to the north of that, I got two oil rigs, but their supply is only 8 each, so their supply is extremely low. So
Yeah.
what would I do to increase the supply on that? Like what? Like build a military
Well,
base or something else near it,
if you
or
have room, obviously adding things that produce supply onto the hex would help, such as if there's room, you can add supply depots, you can add an air base that produces supply, there's seaports, of course.
oh, okay, yeah.
Otherwise, the best thing you can do is make a literal supply hub, a hex that has max supply, and then connect that hex by rail or road to infrastructure in the region as a hub. So, for example, an air base, a seaport, if it's closer inland, an air base with some supply depots, or a city that already produces a lot of supply combined with supply depots, and that will spread further, even overlap some villages you have if they're not producing enough supply.
Okay, good to know.
But the thing is, to optimize your performance like that is easier when you're not trying to spread it over a giant desert.
Like I have.
And what else?
So by supply hub, just like you said,
It's
like an air
also,
base, and build like an air base and some supply depots and things like that to spread it out further,
yeah, there's
right?
a max value. I like the military complex produces some by itself. I think an air base, a military complex, and 1 or 2 supply depots is enough to max out supply on a hex. There's an actual like formula to it. Like everything has a value, like a decimal point value, and it adds up to 1. 1 being the fullest supply a hex can get, and then connecting that hex to other things gives a better supply situation, of course. Bigger cities, for example, like produce different amounts of supply as well. Like a metropolis produces the most. Industrial goods, sorry, industrial complexes produce supply of their own. They produce like 0.1 out of 1. If they're next to large cities and military complexes that have a lot of supply around them, then you'll see they'll have a lot. Whereas if you look in like, Libya, I have this oil field, and the closer it is to the north where all my villages are and a lot of supply where I set up a seaport and a military complex as well, the higher supply that they have.
Right.
Because the rails are carrying supply to them, even if they're not directly touching. It carries supply into the area and spreads from there. And the further south you go, the more you'll notice there's less and less supply there. So, yeah. It's something to keep in mind if you want to optimize your production, but it does have a cost of its own.
Right.
So, was that all 3 things, or was that just 2? Did I get stuck on the second thing?
We got stuck on the second thing. So we got the supply down and the penalty. So I guess there's one more that you want to lay down.
There was one more thing I wanted to say. I don't remember it right now. I might remember it later. Let's get the time moving.
Alrighty. Thank you, Penny. Okay.
I don't know if we'll still be able to do it today, but with the split session that we're about to have. But I do still have a goal of getting the capability to take over France.
Yeah, that's definitely our first target for the for starting
out of
the war.
Because look at their military bar compared to everyone else's in the Entente.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention, the entire Entente isn't even funding their military enough right now. But what I still don't know is, should I build up for it basically right now, or should I instead do a naval invasion of Portugal, then go into France, build up on both sides, taking their military production to assist me, and then we can work together on a multi-pronged assault from Italy and from Spain up towards Paris.
That's feasible.
Well, we could also do a multi-pronged assault without that, from Italy and from Germany.
Yeah.
Either way. And then the Germans should probably send at least a little bit of reinforcements either way. Although if we don't go up through Germany, we'd actually have probably an easier time, because the French have a lot of fortifications and emplacements that are on the east border, which they historically did. Very fortified border, even without the what's it called? The Maginot.
Yeah, your front is highly less defended.
Yeah, it still has a lot of infrastructure though, so my front is hard to push through nonetheless. The border with the Spanish is the weakest one, but it's also, relatively far from Paris, as is mine. Either way. I did have other targets as well to try to increase my strength, including taking Serbia and Bulgaria. They each have a military production facility. They have more pop, more resources.
Yeah, that could work. All right, let's see. What do I want to do? What do I need to do? Yeah, I know.
Because that's Britain's strength, is their navy. And if Germany doesn't get directly involved, there's a chance they send their navy down here.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need.
That's the last thing we need is a navy. I am realizing, though, you know what? I feel like I made a mistake in the long run for taking over France earlier rather than later, is I've put everything into the elite guard, which, you know, they're really good. I just kind of skipped over the initial motorized units because they're not nearly as good as the elite guard, but they can be made faster and they can move faster and keep up with, you know, tanks and recon. And the thing about taking France, if there's a risk of someone sending aid like Great Britain, is you want to do it faster, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know in the long run if it's a mistake to go with Elite Guard or not, because the Elite Guard are better, so they're less likely to die. But with the Elite Guard, reaching Paris will take, I don't know, weeks, as opposed to potentially capable of being rushed there. Ooh, Great Britain and Denmark just made an alliance. Okay. Good to know. I remember earlier, I was like, I don't know if I should go for Denmark as an ally. I see, I wonder if I did go for Denmark as an ally, if that would have made a difference.
Probably not.
I don't know. Probably not. Who
probably
knows?
still would have.
It still might have happened. That's the first time anyone in the Entente has made an alliance, I think. No, that's a lie, because France allied Belgium. One thing I was tempted to do as well, but I don't think it will actually have an effect, is I was tempted to invade Belgium to see if France declares war on me.
I
don't think they would.
Too. Like just take Belgium, and then you have a clear shot straight from there to Paris.
Yeah, right. I have a clear fucking shot. That's completely correct. But it would be better if France actually attacked me because of it, because then I wouldn't have to worry about anyone else declaring war on me. The one I'm worried about is Great Britain, just because of proximity. Soviet Russia can't fucking reach me. Why is Soviet Russia still in the Entente? They should have, you know, left. I want to know why the event for Soviet Russia is still there when Tsarist Russia wasn't in turmoil due to World War I. I don't know.
Let's see. Do I have enough to afford building this? I'm good on everything else. Except Metal War. Yeah, let's see if I can get another industrial thing up. Let's see. Right there.
Well, in 1920, I know none of these alliances are they're not historical. Yeah, I wonder if we reach 1936 if Germany will become fascist.
Probably, if it's scripted.
Because I'm not sure, because in World War I, things aren't... Well, World War I is a standalone scenario, right? It's sold as its own standalone DLC, which can be played by itself. So I'm not sure if they necessarily keep all the other events in there in the SRU version of it. I do know in World War II, all the Cold War events are locked and loaded. They just may not have their conditions met to even happen. But I don't know about World War I going into World War II. Either way, hopefully this doesn't go into World War II. Jesus Christ. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would be, yeah. If Hitler's not already, Germany's not already militarized enough. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Oh, I remembered. I remembered the one other thing I wanted to say. So, you know how you can't produce anything on those pesky hexes that don't have any supply?
Yeah.
I remembered you can. I had forgotten how. And I remembered while editing the footage and me reteaching you about engineers. Well, if you put an engineer on a hex, then it can actually build a complex, like an industrial or military complex, on any hex, it's on or surrounding, whether there's supply there or not.
So all you gotta do is just put an engineer there, and then that'll enable you to build?
Yes.
Nice.
I had forgotten entirely about that. I forgot because I don't use engineers anymore in my fucking playthroughs. Because I don't find them very cost efficient, and I focus on the combat value.
Shit, I don't even have any engineers. I have a bunch of patrol boats.
I'll probably connect a lot of these rail things in Libya, or these oil places in Libya, to a rail line just to help with supply spread, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to see like where's a good place to start putting some stuff down. But then again, my inflation is still fucking through the roof. Oh, 8.6 is not that bad. Just trying to keep it under 10.
Mine's at 6.4 or something right now. Usually I don't connect industrial complexes to rails, but in Libya, with my refound knowledge, I feel like it could potentially be helpful in some instances, like where there's just no sources of supply at all.
Let's see here. Oh, should I build like one engineer? Building 4 out of 4. Infantry, elite. Oh, I don't even have the engineer on here. Yeah, whatever. Let's see. Does he have any techs I can buy off of him? Oh, you do. Basic missile concepts.
You look in Western Libya, you can see my weird little rail thing that I'm making to support the oil over here. Very strange, but yeah, it's connecting every oil hex that's over there, basically. There's a lot more oil hexes to the east, but
it's funny.
yeah, I have very good supply production in the west and the east because of my seaports that I placed, but in the center, near the biggest, densest bit of oil I have there, I actually don't have supply very much because I didn't build a seaport over there. I was going to, but I opted not to. I imagine the supply would actually carry pretty well between the two seaports, and it does carry enough on the rail. Not a whole lot, though. So I think I am going to build a seaport over there in order to support the supply in that region, because I can get a lot of oil from that region.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same with me. I have a bunch of oil that's just out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere with no supply onto it, but
at least this
I'll
part
extend
is by
it
the
to
ocean.
Yeah.
Luckily, you have a lot of stuff by the ocean in Saudi Arabia and Iraq. So changing a sea pier to a seaport around there, and then maybe throwing an air base down or some supply stuff as well. That would help.
Go ahead and get an industrial goods center going right there.
I did keep the mounted infantry design in case I wanted to research it, but even with the knowledge that speed might be needed, I still don't know if I want to research it.
8.9.
I still think, if anything, I might wait for the next set of motorized things that have higher stats. Early World War II stuff.
Yeah, so much for World War One happening. This is going to be a bizarre playthrough.
It's just going to be a little delayed. Dude, I will laugh if we get so far into this that the World War II scripts fire and fucking Germany invades France and Russia, and we're just sitting here like, oh my god, fucking Japan invades the U.S. Like, Jesus Christ.
That would be pretty fucking funny.
That would be funny indeed.
Alright. Oh, since my inflation's already fucking high, why the fuck not? Let's see, where... Build a military
Japan
complex
still
right
has
there.
the largest deployed military because of garrisons, and Germany the most after that.
Put an air base.
Most military production still goes to Germany. I haven't checked so far today. Are they making more? So currently they're not.
Might as well do that.
They're making like resources and research.
And a couple off.
Is anyone anywhere building more military production? You are.
I just laid down one.
You're making some stuff. Japan's making land production. Okay. God, I hope Japan doesn't just like invade China. I really don't know how the long-term scripts are in this.
Well, we're gonna find out, I guess.
Yeah. What's my inflation? 6.2. All right. Now that I've done talking for so long, let me actually place some fucking oil wells like I was gonna. I couldn't place them in the west. That was my problem, because there wasn't any fucking supply there. But with this seaport being made, I guess I might as well place some in the eastern part of Libya. I don't know how many to place, so I'm just placing 10, which is more than I've ever placed at once. But I have 6.4 inflate. Well, 5. It was 6.2. It's now 6.5, like, immediately. This is a good way to test what my economy is capable of.
Yeah, mine just like straight up shot up to 9.6. And that's from building 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 things. So it's a 1.2% rise.
Oh boy, I've unlocked a whole bunch of new subs that I could potentially make. Okay, let's figure this out. Gonna get rid of all the ones that have a shorter range.
I gotta build another research center too.
They all have the same attack though, and roughly the same defense. What the fuck's the difference? Cost? Cost and speed. Okay. Well, I know which one I'm going to go with. I'm going to research this Balila class. It's a little more expensive, but it moves really far and really fast compared to everything else. That'll be a good sub. I'm approaching like 30s subs.
Hey, Russia actually has fucking land that's loyal to me. Bastards.
Those bastards. We'll get them.
That's my land.
This land is my land. This land is your land.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, I know it's the U.S. early game, but I actually have more text than they do. That's funny.
Remember, I don't know, you probably forgot because I said it 2 weeks ago, but this is the one
I know. That's why I
scenario
said
where the U.S. does not start out with a technological advantage at all. Our competition is Europe.
They have mounted infantry, recon, tanks, artillery. That's engineer.
There are so many more ships that I can research. Oh my god.
What do you want for this, Russia? I mean, not Russia, Germany. 2 million? Alright, I'll take the mounted infantry design. I'll start pumping those out too. Let's
I get the Maestral escort vessel and get rid of everything else. Actually, the Douro might be good as well.
Ooh,
let me compare.
We do have some good sub designs.
Its range is terrible. No, its ability to like shoot stuff. Yeah, I'll pass on that.
Let's see here. That one has a hell of a lot more gas. Can go 140, 150 kilometer range.
Patrol ships. Oh my god, I've never seen the sloop gunboat have like a 4-star rating. That's the weirdest fucking thing.
Lestro class. Leon class. Let's see here. 170.
Well, I know what patrol ship I'm going to get. The Sella class. Because it has ASW capabilities. Makes it an easy choice.
Design from you.
Stop taking my stuff.
I don't have enough to research my own, man.
Stop taking my shit. It's mine.
It's ours. What's yours is mine is also mine.
No, this is Russia. No.
Well, okay, fine. If you don't want my money, maybe I'll go to, Germany. How's she? Whoa, inflation at 10.2. Holy fuck. Oh yeah, plus I am building a lot of rails too, so that might have something to do with it. Let's see, is this up
I had
here?
to blow my nose, so I did not hear anything for the last 30 seconds. Also, I checked out some of the PvP videos, right, from you.
Yeah.
And I noticed what you had to do to edit your audio.
Yeah.
Yours
was like blaring.
Yeah, and then you had to like lower mine and then like boost up the game audio and your voice just to make it audible.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had to do shit like that in the past. It sounds awful.
I was like, oh my god, I know one of the comments is like, yeah, dude, your mic's like we could barely hear you. I'm like, I know. I had auditory issues for the whole fucking series. I'm sorry.
My inflation's only at 6.7%, even while building a fuck ton of oil.
Well, mine's at 10.4. I'm gonna game over. I win.
Holy crap! I forgot that the market price of oil had gotten so high. It's $17 for me. It'll be cheaper for you. Well, might be.
No,
What's your market price of oil?
17.
Okay, what's your production price?
13.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, how do we have the same production price? Our GDP is so different.